Hello, my name is Mike, and this is a bike. Now you may ask, what does the bicycle have to do with motorcycles? Well, most of the time, nothing. However, in this particular case, it does have an interesting name on it. If you look at the head badge, it says Victory. And then down here it says Edwards and something company, Philadelphia. So the name Victory is applied to a bicycle. Now in this particular case, well, I did that. I bought the head badge on eBay, glued it to my $10 Sears special. It's a bike I bought at a yard sale about 30, 40 years ago. Chromed the frame, put some nice accessories on it. Rode it until I got old, and now, well, its job is to collect dust. And you'll note it's done a fine job of collecting dust sitting here in the garage, along with a lot of other things that do that job. They share responsibilities nicely. The name Victory appeared on bicycles long before it appeared on motorcycles. The company Edwards and Christ was building a bicycle that they called Victory back in the 30s. And by the 1940s, the U.S. government kind of got involved, and they wanted bicycle manufacturers to build what they called Victory bicycles. And it was another way for them to help support the war effort. They wanted to encourage people to ride bicycles instead of driving vehicles as much. And some of the profits, I think, also went back to the war effort. And then as time went on, the Victory name kind of disappeared. And I think when Polaris was looking for a name to put on their new American motorcycle, they wanted a retro name and a retro look, and they looked back towards the World War II era and saw that the Victory name was used on bicycles. So I think that was one of the reasons that they chose that name for the bikes. Later on, Walmart was selling bicycles, made in other countries probably, but they carried the Victory logo, and they had models like Vegas and Cross Country, and some of the same ones as the motorcycles. After Polaris decided to shut down the Victory brand, well, they stopped using the Victory brand and the Victory logo on the Walmart bikes as well. I have seen a couple that say Polaris on them, but the Victory name is now gone. But I digress. This is supposed to be about getting a cross-country trike running, a motorcycle.
Somewhere in a dusty, dirty back alley in western Arizona, there's an old fart trying to cram a square peg into a round hole. He'll work on anything, just as long as it's got at least 2 cool wheels.
Aside, today's goal is to put this engine into this trike frame. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun, so stick around for the ride. should start doing the timing process. I've already put the guides in. All right, so the way to do that is we start with the back cylinder. We're going to bring the cylinder up to top dead center. And the way we know that it's at top dead center is because down here I've got two small holes, and there's actually a hole in the crankshaft that aligns with it. So this one is directly opposite the back cylinder. So if I rotate the crankshaft around when it's on top dead center, I can place this bolt in here and it will hold the crankshaft in the top dead center position so that I can put my timing gear on and rotate my valves to the top dead center on the compression stroke and then attach that sprocket. And then after I do that, I'm going to rotate the engine, the crankshaft, 410 degrees. When I reach 410 degrees, then number one cylinder will be on the compression stroke, and then I'll put my pin in the back hole here, and I can then set my timing gear up there. So it's really not that difficult. If you don't have a manual, I would recommend not working on these. If you do have a manual, just follow the steps. Not too bad.
When the crankshaft is properly aligned in the top dead center compression stroke position, you can easily slide the bolt into the hole in the crankshaft. Then you know that it will hold it still while you're getting the chain in place and getting the sprocket aligned with the camshaft. Once the camshaft is aligned properly, you'll see that there's a mark on the camshaft and it lines up with one of the holes in the sprocket. Also note that the sprocket has two little marks that are horizontal, and those horizontal marks must align with the top edge of the cylinder head.
Well, there it is, guys. It's all assembled and back together. All I got left to do is put the throttle body on and the air intake system back on. That will only take a couple seconds. And then we're going to go ahead and put it back in the bike, or the trike, I should say. Now, the real question is, will it run? Will it shift gears? I go to install this engine. I've got to align the throttle body with this intake duct here that's part of the spine or frame of the bike. And I also have to align the 4 bolts at the back. I got 4 mounting places here, here, over here, and here. You'll notice 2 of them have dowels to locate it properly into the frame. Now, on normal bikes, that wouldn't be such a big deal. I would simply stick it up into place, slide it back until the dowel is engaged, and start my bolts. Problem with this one is, well, the bolts could not be fully removed because of the trike kit. So I'm going to have to raise it into place and then try to work these bolts into the threads as I slide the engine back into the frame. So it's going to be a little ballet dance here, and I'm very clumsy. I don't ballet dance for a good reason. And then at the same time all that's happening, well, we've got to get the front of it up here lined up. Now there's a mounting bracket that comes down here and holds the front of the head. So once the back is bolted in, once the head is mounted here at the front, and when the back head, by then the back head should slide into these mounts here. So you've got this boss here on the back head, should slide up into here. And then we can tighten all the bolts down, start connecting all the other devices. So, may take me 5 minutes, may take me 5 hours. We'll just have to see how it goes. I've got everything put back the way it's supposed to be, we're going to go ahead and give it a shot, make sure it starts and goes through the gears. Here's the fuel pump priming. Here we are neutral. Call that a win. Alrighty. Now that the fumes have dissipated and we can breathe again without, running the risk of carbon monoxide poisoning, we're going to go ahead and we're going to finish putting the rest of the exhaust back together, put the fairing lowers on it, and we'll fire it up. We'll take it for a spin around the block, and then we'll pull it next door into the rack area and hoist up that body and put the body back on it. I still have to do fork seals, but, well, the fork seals, they're going to be a different video. So bear with me. We're almost done with our trike project, and I think the owner will be quite pleased. Goodness. Well, that concludes this video. We've kept this trike from the crusher and got her back on the road. Runs perfect, shifts perfect, and it didn't fall off. Well, that's probably because it's got training wheels on it. And as I get older, well, I may have to get one like this. Thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, please share, and, leave some comments for me. I got some other stuff in the works. I got an O2 V92 that sat for almost a decade. We're going to see if we can get it running. And I'm gradually acquiring parts. I'm going to build a jackpot from scratch. So come on back and watch my next videos.